Alright, guys, got my brain energy drink and. Ooh, okay, let's go. Yeah, so one of the things we want to start doing this year is cold calling. I have a couple buddies that had some success doing it, and if you're a contractor or just you have your own business, I know I have a lot of downtime when I'm driving around. Instead of listening to the radio, I usually try to listen to vlogs or podcasts or just YouTube videos. But you could use that time to, just call around and, like, for instance, I can call pool builders and just try to introduce myself and let them know that I'm an electrician. And you never know. I mean, if you call 100 people, I imagine you may get one or two prospects from it, and it could end up landing you one of your biggest clients that makes up brunt of your work. And there's a lot of companies out there that need services, and it's just another route, because it's just like nowadays these paper leads are so dang expensive, and it's almost impossible to make any money just showing up to somebody's house. And even if you're billing $200-300 for a service call, it's just a lot of people don't want to pay that, and then they want to pay like 120, but by the time you drive there or 150 or whatever, and by the time you drive there and do the work and drive back and gas and everything and time, it's like you're not averaging enough to be profitable. So that's what I've always found service to be really tricky, residential service. And part of the reason why we do an $80 service call is just because at one point we did do free estimates, but we just get a lot of people that will come and have us come out, waste their time, and we have to, at the end of the day, cover our expenses for the lead and the gas at least. And we do hire it, or we do waive the $80 if we're hired. But so far we've been doing that for about a few months now, and it's worked in our favor. I mean, we do get less leads, but it's also the quality of the lead that we do get is a lot better. We did at one point, we had done like door-to-door flyers, and I went to neighborhoods that we would like to be in. I tried just going door to door and hanging them. We weren't like knocking or anything like that, and we did get some callbacks from that, but it didn't really justify wasting the whole day. Now, if I'm in a nice neighborhood and I've got a lot of helpers on a project with me, and we've got some downtime, I'll send them to just kind of go drop a couple off in the neighborhoods. But I found people really don't like that, so we don't do it as much anymore. They just don't like people putting, to them, they see your pamphlet or your little door hanger is trash, and it could just send the wrong message. So oftentimes it's like, it really matters what neighborhood you are in, because those are the people that are seeing your truck and that are going to call you. They're going to approach you and walk up to you. And another thing we recently started doing was doing the brunt of our orders through online and supply houses. A lot of times when we started out, I'd go to Home Depot and have to sit there for 1 or 2 hours trying to get, or not, okay, maybe not an hour, but we'd be sitting there for quite a while, seems like, just trying to get wire cuts and everything, and then the pricing's decent, but with the supply house, we're currently using CED. It's just a lot more streamlined. You email them in their order. The pricing, like, you can't beat the pricing. It's oftentimes better than Home Depot, and then you just show up and pick up everything, and it's just a lot more convenient for us and than anything else that they don't provide. We've been ordering online. And there are other times where we're on a job and something was missed, or we ended up needing something, and Home Depot's a good option. But just as we've grown, I've become less and less. We just do less and less business with Home Depot. mean, it's just become a real pain in the ass because everything's locked up in a cage, and then you got to find an attendant. They're oftentimes understocked and understaffed. Um, so and it needs to be efficient because it's like it's not. Because yeah, it's time is money, right? So, but yeah, I see a lot of guys. Often they've got those real big like Ram ProMasters, or I think that's what they're called, or it's really big, tall work vans, and I've always wanted one, but they're just so expensive. I think a price one now is like the same. So I drive a 2010 Dodge Caravan. We just gutted out the seats, and it was definitely an upgrade from what I had before. When I first started doing this, I had like a Honda Civic. I was just loaded up with tools, and you'd be shocked how much stuff you could fit in a Honda Civic, but it wasn't professional. It didn't really serve function well. We were always having to clean it, like pretty much every single day. And then so when I sold that, I bought this van. I got this van for like $3,000, and it had a couple things I had to fix on the front, and I don't know, like 120,000 miles. And I was looking at a Ford Transit, which was like I think it was like $16,000 for the similar mileage, and I mean, it's essentially the same thing, right? Like, it doesn't have really any tow capacity. It's just a white small cargo van, and it wasn't even an option. I couldn't have the funds to be able to just buy a Ford Transit or buy a $30,000 work van. And I found this, and I think we did a full wrap on it, or it was a half wrap, and they put the logo on the front with stickers, and it was about $1,400. So all said and done, I got a pretty decent looking work van for less than $5,000, and I haven't had any issues with this thing for the past 3 years that I have been driving it. So, and it's just like I could buy, like, that's another deal, is like I could buy 5 of these vans for the price of what they want for one of those Ram Masters or the ProMaster, whatever. This thing, I put a trailer hitch on it from U-Haul. I was pulling around trailers to set generators with it, and with no problem. I mean, it's got like a 3,500 pound tow capacity. So, I don't know, but I definitely think the other vans look more professional. But it'll be hard for me to ever really purchase one of those. I rather have 5 of these in a warehouse than have one $40,000-$50,000 work van. I mean, even the rack that came with this thing, we just put on one of those. I think it was like a 4-inch PVC pipe, and that you can buy off Amazon, those little lid kits, and turn it into like a conduit sleeve holder. And it's worked well, and I've strapped like 30-foot ladders on top of this thing, and it's not ideal, but again, it does what it needs to do. One thing I like about doing service work is you're always at a different spot, and you're always working on different things and different people. And I did new construction and industrial for years, and it was like you're around the same people every day doing the same stuff, and there's comfort to that, but I just don't like feeling like I'm living the same day and doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like I like going on, getting a call from a warehouse, and they've got like a conveyor belt system that's down, and you go show up and something. I mean, once you know electrical, it doesn't matter what you're working on, you'll be able to troubleshoot anything. But it's cool seeing some of the systems and how they work and operate, and I mean how they were engineered, and just meeting new people and making relationships. And when you do a good job, like for people, like you don't have to, you get referral work, and the last 2 years, that's all we've hardly advertised at all, and we've been pretty decently busy, like just off referrals and Those are the best kind of clients to have, because it's like, if you've got, let's say, like there's 100 clients, or let's say there's a million clients in Houston that need electrical work. It's like, well, 60 of those people you don't want to deal with. It's just what it is. Like, they don't value your time. They don't value you as a person. They see you as a service or a commodity, and they more than happy for you to not make any money on your projects. And they don't know what goes in depth on what it actually takes to do a project or the cost. And they're so jaded from other contractors that have tried to get over on them that they just genuinely either don't trust you or they just don't care. And those are people you want to screen and avoid. And I mean, we typically try to if somebody's reaching out and the first thing they want to know is about price, more than likely they're looking for the lowest bid. And a lot of those guys that are providing those bids, they're either just throwing the stuff in, or they're just gonna get the bid and then they're gonna do a bunch of changes. I've seen that happen a lot. Like, they'll put a low bid in, and when they start doing the project, they'll be halfway through and they'll start telling the clients that, hey, because of this, we're gonna end up having to charge $200 more, and then they end up becoming, at the end of the job, more expensive than what our quote was. And again, going back to what I was saying, is like, so about 40% of the people are actually people that you want to do work for, and then 10% of those people already or let's say even higher than that, 20% of those ideal clients, they've already got their electrician or their company that they've been doing business with, and so they're not even on the market shopping for anybody because they've got their guy. And then so there's really only a small window of people that are actually looking for your services, and it's a really small little group. And it's why I think that's why it's important, and why we offer so many services right now. Like, I would love to be more efficient and have a one service, and we're busy every day doing it, but we're just not quite there yet. So we've got to cast a wide enough net with the different services that we offer, between lighting packages or commercial service or some build outs, like, so that we can find the right type of clients. Because your first 100 clients is like the foundation of your entire company.